Hi, welcome to the Neurodivergent Resource Podcast. Today, we are met with one of our advisory board members, Andrew Arboe, and we're going to get to know him more today. So, hello, Andrew.
Hi, and hopefully my voice sounds all right. But allergies, like nose running. I had to buy some Dayquil during grocery shopping, so I had to kind of fight that when I was over at my school job.
Oh,
Luckily it was a less crazy day than I expected. It was a couple could have escalated, but luckily, luckily me and others kind of keep everything nice. So I won't
oh.
complain there. It could have been a lot worse.
I love that. So, it's nice to see you today. Well, for those that don't know you, tell us where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
I'm in Connecticut, and I'm a man of many different things. Some of those probably talked about here. I'm kind of known for my brand, which I'm assuming is going to be linked at the end of this one, and also in the podcast like summaries and all that. I won the Andrew Autism Autistic Self Advocate and Speaker. I do public speaking, contracting, and kind of like any collaboration at any organization would pretty much be happy to set with me. I do a lot of different public speaking, contracting. And I also know I do a lot of work in the autism field. I work as a teacher assistant currently at Autism School in Connecticut. I'm also a direct care person. So I wear a lot of different hats. And there's also Andrew the gamer, where I have a lot of hobbies. I play a lot of video games, Japanese role playing games. And I'm a huge coffee person, and I love to travel. Like I'm gonna be traveling to Allenby for a special education resource fair this Sunday, not Sunday, Saturday.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And I really love, well, I used to love coffee. I was a coffee drinker for like, I don't know, 25, 30 years. And then all of a sudden, last year, I switched to tea. Now I'm a tea drinker and I
That's
can't
when
get
I
enough
had black tea. Like I saw one of my friends, so I had black tea. I kind of promised I would have
Mm,
actual tea instead of coffee. Turns
nice.
out turns out my friend didn't give up coffee, but still committed to the tea.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
some
know
funny
much.
faces when I mentioned tea to supervisors. Got like a Andrew, what? All my workplaces, including all my speaking engagements, everyone knows I'm a coffeeholic.
Oh, I love that. Well, and let's talk about kind of the beginning. For those that do know you, they'll be excited to hear all the new things we're going to talk about later. But for those who don't, let's talk about it, whatever you're comfortable with, like the progression of your life. So when you were diagnosed, and maybe even when you understood that fully, and moving forward, any challenges you face. We'll go back to questions, things like that.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I was nonverbal. Started to finally talk about that. Because after a while, like certain topics, when you like different engagements, I'm like, no, maybe this would be a bad idea to talk about. One of my
Mm.
topics was on going over the ups and downs of my special education journey because I was in special ed, and apparently my dad kept all the files, so I literally have all these IEPs, consultation, like those educational consultants, like
Yeah.
documentation was very helpful when I was doing the creating the slides for those, because it all does offer kind of a very different perspective. Turns out my district at the time was pretty up there. Like one of the recommendations was to not like underestimate me, just
Mm.
assume that I knew what I was doing, despite I could speak. It took me a long time to speak, or at least like age seven, eight,
Yeah.
7, 8, like I had a lot of speech therapy, and moved on a lot. So services kind of varied, but it was all kind of like scattered around, and I had a lot of help. My anxiety was kind of noticeable there, and I also had like a one of the interesting things that also made perfect sense was they had my assignments be at a game format, so it's kind of like you play a game, but you're doing like homework and whatnot. And knowing how much I became a gamer, that just makes way more sense.
Isn't that
Especially Pokemon. Despite what I look at, I'm assuming this will be the video part of this podcast. and everyone already knows I don't look like I'm 32, but I really am actually 32. Well, 33 in a month or so. I'm going to be 33 in July. But I'm
Oh,
actually 32. I do not look like it. Anyone that see me in person, I do not look like that, but I kind of just go with it.
I think we talked about that last time because I have a birthday in July too. I don't know if you remember how old I'm gonna be.
I'm not gonna ask, the social aspect, and not to go literal, but I'm not gonna go ask.
I'm gonna be 50. So I
Oh,
don't
the
think
big number.
people don't usually think I look 50 either. No, it must be our beautiful autistic faces, Andrew.
Hmm.
But that's a really great insight into how far you've come, and especially for parents with newly diagnosed children who may be nonverbal, knowing that there are individuals who have overcome and have been able to move into the verbal space and been able to, cross those paths. But not saying that our nonverbal friends and non speakers haven't already shown us how incredible and how capable they are of holding their own in the conversation. I couldn't be more proud of that.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you. And I guess I can go more details. So
Yeah.
I've been in special ed, going up to high school, and I kind of kept to myself. Like, I was content to I grew up with a lot of Nintendo. Like, I am one of the OGs back when Pokemon was big in the 90s. Like, I was there. Movies, show, VHSs, like, I was there. And I proudly wear that badge when I talk to students or young into younger people. Yeah, show that I was there. That I was there, especially it's this year's its 30th anniversary. So,
Wow.
and I guess we should probably go into how I got into the field I am. I just feel
Yes,
like that would be a good
I
segue.
love that. Please.
Because I didn't think about, I didn't think about autism for a while. Like, I was more content to, Pokemon. Like, I already put 900 hours in Pokemon Diamond on the Nintendo DS, the two like dual screens. Like I was pretty much like Nintendo, but I also was put a lot of hours in that.
Like a
And I was
professional.
telling someone, yeah, I did play other games, mind you, but the DS games were really good. But but I wasn't at that. I didn't think I was told, but it never really crossed my mind until much later, right when I was like transitioning out of high school. And then I kind of went transition, and then I kind of realized how there's not like a lot of services out there. It's kind of like you feel that existential dread. I like to compare it because I'm a type where I kind of like I use video games, at least like a story based games, as kind of like best I describe. I've been kind of came in terms of this year of like kind of using it to kind of gauge like parts. I'm able to put some of the feelings I feel into like words. Like I feel like, and I'd say it in some of my slides, aging out of like high school or like special ed services feel like playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, where they just put you
Oh,
in in that open world setting. Because like you could go straight to the Hyrule castle if you want to,
yeah.
but you have all these different areas, and they really
So
like
much
put you out there in
space.
the wild.
Yeah.
No pun intended. No pun intended. But I feel like that's the best and probably a little geeky way, but whatever. Best way to describe it, and that kind of led me to of like thinking, what could I do better? And by that time, I consumed the type of games like Final Fantasy, near Replicant. Like I love those games that have like the resilient main characters, and I played a lot of those so much that was like I looked at some like the statistics for autistic adults, and was like, do I have to follow this? And part of me was like, I wanted to say no, and I went into human services despite that has a lot of association and still like a lot of nuances there. Like there's like trying to like reading people, trying to read those moods, especially in education. Yeah, because working with autistic people is like there's a lot to manage. Like it isn't just simply like teaching someone, but you have to consider like the needs, and if they're like anxious, you have to kind of consider like personalities,
Yeah.
like their developmental age. I won't go too technical, but there's a lot of things that you have to consider. And I like to throw for a disclaimer. I probably should have said this in the beginning. This is just my one voice because I imagine I'll be going over my brand, and I always like to show that I'm just one voice. I do not represent everyone else. I made that very clear with my brand. I kind of made that as kind of like a my own like facet in
Yeah,
response with the autism scene online and in person.
I love that. And it's important too because, one I think it was like the 1 in 36 mix that I had, a couple years ago.
Mm.
And during that time, I had my son DJ. I said, DJ, if 1 in 36 in the US are diagnosed autistic, how many people, and there's, however many there were in the world at that time, I asked him because he's a calculator, walking calculation man. I said, how many autistics are there in the world? And he came back to me in just like seconds and said 183 million autistics in the world, mom. So if you consider that, Andrew, we are only two voices, only two of those 183 million plus voices sharing our own individual unique perspective of what autism means to us and how it impacts our lives. And so I really appreciate that you said that, and it's great for everyone else to understand.
Yeah, like there's a lot of information that gets spit out. Like one of the things I've seen, and I don't want to be, yeah, one of those is like levels fluctuate. Um, but I kind of don't buy that. Like if I were to like go into like level 2 or level 3, I one of the lessons I learned to autism actually that you cannot win against rankers. You cannot win. Like you just have to do your best and like display all your good possible intentions because people will police you no matter what. So it's like do
Mhm.
your best. I learned this from personal experience. So
Yeah.
sometimes I use levels freeze, but I do my very best to try to keep up with all the different terms and everything. But back to my actual point, like I don't buy it because I don't see myself going to level 3, but I just don't buy it. Like it just doesn't make sense. I feel like it's just me, like level 1. I just get I get anxious here, so I don't think levels fluctuate. So that's kind of one thing. And there's a lot of other like different like like the MIPS and everything.
Yeah.
So my brand, yeah, like my brand kind of like does my own thing. I'm kind of like follow kind of like my own kind of values
Mm.
on there. And before I go on the tangent, we should probably move to another like specific
You're
question.
totally fine.
I could go on and on.
Well, while we're on the topic, give me, and I mean, I know already it's Andrew Arboe, right? Is your website, is it .com.org?
.com. It's like Webry.
Perfect. Is this correct?
It just needs like it's Andrewable and then Andrewable and .webry. Like I could
Oh,
type
okay.
in the chat
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. And then I'll type it in here. That's perfect. That is where
Also,
people
just typed
can
it too.
go. Perfect. Perfect. Got that.
And I can also, yep, and since multitasking, I can also just chat, just directly send a link. Except for
Yeah.
that, let me
Is
fix that.
excuse us while we type
There
away.
goes much better.
Make it possible for everyone
I
to
do have social media pages, and my
join.
Instagram kind of exploded lately because of both April, like April with
Yeah.
I call it both autism awareness and acceptance. I kind of consider them both, or it kind of like one of the main things I aim with my brand, other than me being really good at public speaking, and a lot of it came from me advocating about driver readiness,
Mhm.
is like I really wanted to kind of do my own, like, kind of want to do my own brand. Like, there's a lot of ups and downs, like a lot of infighting in autism community against people that really shouldn't really be a thing.
I
And
agree.
so
Yeah.
I kind of did my own. So I kind of made my own brand. Yeah, it just was easier for me, and I actually encourage people, like, you could use all the infinity symbols, you could use all the different symbols, but I've also encouraged people that unless you really want to stick with something people are most familiar with, I don't think it hurts to create your own brand. I could care less if you use something else.
Yeah. And here is Andrew's beautiful website for those of you who want to hop over there and check it out. Isn't that cool that we can just bring it right up here to look at and show
Hmm.
off?
Yep, I do have an Instagram and Facebook, but I could probably spare you from looking through all of that. I do have that on there.
Go there, and yeah, we'll definitely make sure that all of those links are available to everyone, so they have that. In fact, what are your IG and face? What are those channel names?
That neighborly similar because sometimes Instagram kind of does a thing like Introvable Speaker 5. I was trying to make sure I kind of met that I kind of met the expectations of Instagram.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
really was it. Also
that's
on LinkedIn, you can just find me like Andrew Arboe. I'd like to cosplay a lot. I like to cosplay as much as I can because I get different audiences.
mm-hmm. I love that. Excellent. Well, let's get back to a little bit more about what kind of information people can find when they go to your website. Obviously, the very first picture is, you're in a car. So let's talk
Goes back to my driving days. I
yeah.
did a lot of driver awareness. Like one of the things I got into public speaking, I probably went ahead to answer one of your questions. I'm assuming probably. But I think my state in Connecticut never really had a lot of driving services, so I took it upon myself after I got my license because human services like education, you absolutely do need a license. And that's not to say that you need a license to succeed because people are at like different developmental ages, and it is like it's good to think about the positive things, but also being realistic. I like to feel it like that.
Yeah.
Like it is never a bad thing to take a look at that. Like people kind of go like ultra positive with autism or autism is a superpower, which can grade people, and sometimes it's kind of like it's a bit much, but it is okay to acknowledge the reality.
Mm,
Like I always like to go with that, kind of be realistic when
I
I do
like
my
that.
brand. So it's like wanting to give people to have that opportunity to educate themselves on driving, make their choice on pursuing the drive or not. So it led for me doing a lot of different programs. I collaborated with different schools and made my own program, which went south, but that's a rabbit hole for another day. And so I do weapon. So I've done a lot of public speaking that led to me to all my different speaking topics. And shameless plug, but I'm sure neurodiverse technologies would be happy with me because I am their Connecticut ambassador. I'm also a Connecticut ambassador for their driver simulator program. I'm Sandy. Sandy probably will tell me to pronounce it a different way. Sandai, like
Neurodiverse.
Sandai, which is a really cool driver simulator, and I'm actually will be trying out a live demo in July. They finally got a Massachusetts ambassador, so driving school. So I'm already contacted them to be like, I'm trying out the simulator, and I'm also doing a live webinar with about my journey and also the simulator itself this week because I'm kind of like introducing people to it and trying to
Yeah,
get that more out there. That's kind of what I'm currently doing for driving.
I love that. I talked to someone the other day. There's a program here called the Next Work for Autism program. Excuse me.
Oh,
And
do you mean the organization Next for Autism? Because
yes,
they're in
Next
Newark.
Work. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm
They
friends with Abby Joyce. I'm friends of her.
and they could be similar because this one's in Utah, so I'm not sure if it's the same
Okay,
organization,
probably different.
but
The one is in
yeah.
Newark. They do like all the celebrities like fundraiser
Oh,
stuff.
oh, yeah, that's
And
not
they
this
also
one.
did like an employment report recently. So
Oh,
they're in
that's
Newark.
nice. Well, this place I toured, it's a residential and a work facility that they do work education, and then it's has like apartments that you can do independent living. And it's so exciting, and I talked to them about what it would take to get the simulator into here to Utah to see what we could do. So we
I mean,
definitely
you can introduce me. I know it's a shameless plug on a podcast, but you can always introduce me,
I love that.
and I can connect them with neurodiverse
Yeah.
because biggest thing is because one of the main things I love about doing my own brand is I'm a collaborator at heart. Like I want to be able to create resources, programs, create like speaking engagements.
Mhm.
Like that website isn't entirely for sure. It represents me going out there, and I've driven to so many different states.
Yeah.
The furthest I've driven is both New Jersey, New Hampshire, Philadelphia. I did a keynote in Philadelphia last month, and I was very proud of that. In
Oh,
April, in case of this recording is in June, like I did a keynote with the Arc of Philly over there, and that was great.
yeah. Oh, that's
I did a drive in there. Went to the Lockheed. Went to like the art museum with the Lockheed steps. I did that on my way out. Fought for a spot and made it work.
Is this correct for that Neurotech Frontier? Is that right? I had to pull up.
Oh, you mean it's neurodiverse technologies?
Oh, okay. Perfect. Oh, and there's the
And
other.
I'll make it easier. I will post the link.
I love it. Yeah,
No,
those
wait, no,
are
that's
great.
not my best ones. Let me do the text instead. There goes much better.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, those are such great resources. I want people to be able to go directly to them and, and open them up automatically and see them. So I'll post that right now. Here we go. Perfect. And for those of you who are just listening, I'm going to run back over this really fast for you.
Okay.
You can go to andrewarbo.weebly.com to look at Andrew's website. You can also find him on IG at Andrew Arbo Speaker 5 and probably LinkedIn. You think you said it, Andrew
Oh
Arbo.
yeah, but I think people could just search me up LinkedIn. It's really just my
Oh,
first last name. It's like professional. I make cross posts. Yeah, okay, sure. Because LinkedIn audiences, they kind of stay in there. Like they kind of stay in the same ones, but I still like to cross post.
I love that. And then you can find out more about Andrew's events, his projects he's working on, his what did you say you are the why is the name?
For neurodiverse technologies, I'm the Connecticut ambassador. For
And
technically,
that's the word I was trying
technically,
to
I can like introduce people to it outside of Connecticut. I finally got that because after a while, the list kind of gets smaller.
Yeah. Yeah,
It gives me a lot more freedom because one of the reasons I started my website because I have all these contacts. I did a lot of outreach. Like I'm a very big networker. Like I get a lot of enjoyment out of attending workshops and in-person conferences.
I love that.
Like last year, I didn't do as much events as I wanted to, but this year, ooh,
Lots of them.
yeah, quite a bit. Like if you go through all my April posts this year on my social medias, I was everywhere.
Oh, that's
And
great.
couldn't volunteer. Like I volunteered for the Profound Autism Summit.
Mm,
And
wonderful.
it ended up being a networking hub when I expected.
Mhm.
Threw me off. I wanted to volunteer.
Oh, that's so
And
fantastic.
also get some new perspectives. Like I really just like to keep myself kind of learning as I go. And
Yeah.
also know that again, one speaker, like I was kind of reading a lot of the discourse and I don't want to get too philosophical or existential in autism community. I mean, it all probably sounds a bit not ridiculous, but pretty out there. It's like like people like people really want to get out there and speak and to get in for that power trip. And as I enjoy doing a lot of different speaking engagements, but it's also okay. It's like having other voices is perfectly okay.
Yeah. I think all of the
So
voices combined are the best.
yeah, man, I like to educate and also do some recommendations. So the fact that my pages didn't burn when I mentioned a few Facebook pages to recommend for profound autism is amazing on its own fun. Makes me
Yeah.
happy because I
Good.
really want my page to be helpful, like regardless of your circumstances.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to, like I want to hit that sweet spot because I'm kind of into a lot of different realms
Mhm.
with parents. I mean, I'm not a parent, but be able to reach out to parents, professionals, professionals, other self advocates. Like I'm kind of in between like all those different parts of the community. Like I get along with everyone. And one of the stories I love talking about, like I actually become friends with behaviorists. I'm at New Jersey. I go to Autism New Jersey's conference, and a few times actually speaking to people when I'm having like an espresso martini. It's a conference habit. I'm a more coffee person. I just want to get that out there. I'm into coffee more. Not my thing, but I really become friends with people when going out and like talking about autism while having like special drink. Don't ask me how these things are possible, but it does happen. The power of networking.
My husband decided a new trick, if you will, for me. would be when I go out that I give my business card to anyone, no matter who it is, whether it's, I mean, a cashier or a waiter, just anyone in that I'm in contact with. And I just say, here, if you need anything, just let me know, whether it's autism related or not. And then they usually say autism. And then I say, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. I podcast and all these other things. And he just said that he think and people are really surprised and they're excited when they get it. They're excited. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you. And
Yep, I actually went. Oh, sorry, I
do that.
actually ran into people like airports like a couple
Yeah.
times I flew. I actually kind of ended up giving like a few cards. Or kind of just happens. Almost because I would have like reading materials when I wasn't on my Switch. Like I would have a few autism books. I'm looking at a couple that I need to read more, but I've been doing this employment consulting course
Mm,
lately because some of my dreams, like I really want to go into transitional services.
I love
Like I'm looking at Kansas University for an online graduate program.
wow.
And I've been looking at like going through, like kind of get into that field through the employment services side, like
Mm.
employment specialist or like vocational rehab.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
because a lot of my
fantastic.
stuff that I do is already vocational involved. I mean, literally my website. Because funny thing is, what I do is I technically could make an LLC if I want to, but it really is done whenever I have time to actually do it.
Yeah.
Because I've been more transparent about I've actually funded part of a bachelor's thanks to what I do. I
Mm.
also do free presentations. I charge a lot less in Connecticut because I've been traveled the state for all these years. It's just outside Connecticut, I just charge a bit more, especially
Good.
with gas.
Yes.
Yeah, but let's just say I paid about 300 for gas last April just
Ooh,
because of all my travels.
it's not.
I brought it upon myself and ended up being in April. It's like one of those things you kind of have to accept. I mean, I literally drove into Boston too.
I love that. Well, Andrew, it's been so nice getting to know you. And we're going to have some more conversations together throughout this podcast. But for those of you who are listening now, this is the podcast that is just today about Andrew, just about his interests, his experiences, and all that he has to offer and all that we can support him with. So, I will leave all of the website and the links in the description. Any like final tips or
Okay, good. I was gonna say feels like
say?
could go on a bit more, but yeah, I'm really just pleased with the website because I have a lot of different experiences. I've worked in a few like a public school. I've worked several nonprofits. Like I have that pretty extended like history. Oh, in video game terms, I'm kind of like my experience is like a red mage. So I definitely want to keep going. I'm really happy. Like I'm actually very in debt to all the organizations that have me present.
Oh,
Having present, I also do pre-presentations, by the way, but also being paid is good. But I am okay with that. And also, I am up for contracting because some of my cool experiences, like neurodiverse technology, and I've also did slides for autism project. Like contractor just opens a lot of different worlds and doors. So really, just a crapper wanting to kind of do my own type of autism accuracy, like kind of being out there, like keep learning, keep being like open minded.
mm.
And yep, and definitely check out. I'm always up for doing speaking engagements, up to doing contracting. My website will go over all those details. And I also have a very adorable German Shepherd on my pages and social medias, Sky the puppy.
I love that.
I mean, if you want, because you could be able to we could get a screenshot of there should be a picture of me and Sky.
Oh, I love
And
that.
either my social media pages. Like I think we
Yes.
could do this one thing. It'd
Oh,
probably be
great.
easier to find something for you go for my Instagram and there should be a picture of Sky on there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make sure to add that for sure. I love that idea. We'll put that up there. Well, this has been so much fun to meet with you today, and I can't wait until we meet again. I'm sure it will be soon. Thanks, Andrew.
Yep, thank you.